Others say it's OP, while others say there's nothing special about the new Holger-26. But the question is it better than the Bizon? The Holger-26 and its mythic draw just came out a few days ago, and I made a gameplay video with it to see how it performs in rank. I also mentioned Pat's tweet about the Holger's time to kill comparison versus the S36 of the past and against the current meta, the QXR and the PP19. But today we're going to put the Holger-26 and the PP19 Bizon to help you decide which is better for you and to answer the question, is the Holger better than the Bizon? But what about better headphones and other gear? Our HYPERX giveaway is still ongoing and there are 20 different ways you can enter. I'm going to let you in on a secret code. Use the code livestream as an additional entry to the giveaway, and I will be releasing more secret codes on my live streams here on YouTube and on Trovo, so make sure you follow me on the links down below. And turn on notifications to make sure you don't miss it. I want to thank Mrroey for testing and providing these stats, and Signu for helping me compare the two guns and giving me additional insights. If you have seen my comparison video on the QXR versus the QQ9 and how crazy long it was, I'll try to make this as short and sweet as possible, so let's go and get to the first one. For the Holger, I will show you 3 different ADS speeds, depending on which mag attachment or lack thereof you might decide to go with. The Holger's base ADS speed is at 550 milliseconds or 33 frames to complete the animation, while the 30-round mag clocks in at 417 milliseconds or 25 frames. And finally, for the 35-round mag, it takes 433 milliseconds or 26 frames to aim down sight. The PP19 Bizon undoubtedly wins this battle as it takes only 233 milliseconds or 14 frames to ADS. Here are the added frames you'll get from sprint to hipfire and from sprint to ADS for both weapons. If you're looking to compete while using the Holger against the Bizon or the current meta even, using the 30-round mag will be the obvious choice. The added mobility with this attachment is also useful, so you can run around the map if you want to play versatile. Even if you stack ADS with the Holger, the Bizon will still win the ADS battle, so take that into account. You will not ADS faster against the tier 1 weapons like the QXR and the PP19, so you have to take advantage of the Holger's strengths and play around the weaknesses. In case you didn't know, when your bullets hit the enemy in COD Mobile, they die. That being said, how fast those bullets come out of your barrel may be the key into winning most of your gunfights. One of my initial impressions of the Bizon was that the fire rate was weird for me. It still is a laser and is competitive, don't get me wrong, but it's a personal feeling that I have with the Bizon that bothered me in the past. Anyway, the Holger has the edge in terms of fire rate, being able to shoot at 706 rounds per minute, while the Bizon shoots at 650 rounds per minute. Higher fire rate means missing a few shots is more forgiving, but having a high fire rate means you also run out of bullets faster. The Holger's base mag has 100 bullets and 30 or 35 bullets if you decide to use the AR conversion. The Bizon will feel like you have infinite ammo versus the Holger's high fire rate and low mag capacity when it comes to using the AR conversion. Still, in a head-to-head gunfight, Holger has a chance to shred the competition from range. For mobility, with the state of the current meta, players would want to use a weapon with good mobility to keep up. That being said, Holger's sprint speed is at 5.81 meters per second and the Bizon moves at 6.39 meters per second. With the Holger being an LMG and the Bizon being an SMG, this is not a surprise. Even if you use the AR conversion of the Holger, Bizon will still win in terms of mobility. As for the base ADS movement or the strafe speeds of both, the Holger can strafe at 2.49 meters per second and the Bizon strafes at 3.9 meters per second. Again, a complete win for the PP19 because even if you run the AR conversion of the Holger, it will still be slower than the Bizon. This may be very well one of the reasons why pros still prefer the Bizon over the Holger because of how fast-paced the game is, especially during respawns. Having a faster ADS speed and a higher mobility is one of the keys in order to react and rotate quicker in the middle of games. Bizon takes care of that and then some. Here's where it gets interesting. Now, I'm not gonna read the whole stats because that's gonna bore you, so I'm just going to flash the base time to kill per range values of the Holger, the Bizon, and the Bizon with the large caliber ammo mag. All the values that are marked red are the guaranteed time to kill values of each, even if you hit all leg shot. The values in black are achievable with factors like hitting all headshots or hitting most of the upper chest shots. If you're going to take away all the black values and you somehow have the worst aim in all of COD Mobile, you'll still be a achieving these values. This shows that the Holger at all ranges will kill faster than the Bizon consistently. If you're like me and use the large caliber ammo together with the monolithic suppressor, here's the graphic and stats made by Path, and it only shows that even with this setup, the Holger still wins the time to kill per range battle. This is one of the areas, if not the only area, that the Holger excels, and bringing it to the meta discussion. Ease of use is also one of the major factors in what guns players want to use, and recoil pattern is one of the keys when it comes to that. Looking at the Holger's recoil pattern, it's not that straightforward. Somehow it resembles a snack because of how it goes left and right. If you use a 30 round mag, that just cuts the recoil pattern short, making it fairly easy to control. Now Bizon, on the other hand, you already know this, you just need to pull down because Bizon's recoil just goes up and it doesn't shoot up that fast either. Looking at both side by side, you can see what I mean. Holger's recoil looks like a snack, and Bizon, well, Bizon's pattern looks like a hot dog. While the Holger has a more dynamic recoil pattern compared to Bizon's non-existent recoil, it's not that hard to master compared to the likes of KN-44 or the Peacekeeper. I have been a Peacekeeper fan for a long time now, but now that the Holger is here, it's taking its place into my loadouts for rank. For some builds, I don't really switch up my gunsmith builds because I'm lazy, and the Bizon didn't receive changes over the Season 4 update. For the PP19, this is still the build I use. Monolithic suppressor, MIP light extended barrel, no stock, tac laser, and large caliber ammo. For faster strafing speed, replace no stock with skeleton stock, and if you somehow want to put a red dot on the Bizon, you can forego the large caliber ammo and put on the red dot or optic of your choice. As for the Holger, here's the AR conversion that you can use, stacking ADS speed and mobility. Want it suppressed? You can use Cygnus build, removing granulated crib tape and putting on the tactical suppressor. I wouldn't suggest putting a monolithic suppressor on the Holger because the BSA is bad compared to the meta weapons, but hey, who's stopping you? I don't really have an LMG version to suggest because personally I'd rather use the chopper or the RPD even to use as an LMG. Like I said, the Holger will replace the Peacekeeper in my loadouts just because they are somehow similar. Bizon still might be the gun that everyone's going to use because you can say that overall it's a better gun than the Holger's AR conversion. The Holger, however, is overpowered on its own. It's just not as broken as the QXR or as easy to use as the Bizon. Holger's AR conversion should be the best it can be. Anything slower than that, just use the LK24 instead. Personally, I might find myself using the QQ9 to use against the QXR and the Holger, or another LMG to use against the Bizon if I wanted to play range. PP19 is just too versatile and too easy to use, and I still want to have a bit of fun playing this game, so I'll be using guns that are not being spammed right now. That's it for today's video. Make sure you drop a like if it helped you decide on which gun to use, or if it only made you more confused. Don't forget to enter the secret code livestream on our HYPERX giveaway link down below. For today's question, which one do you find yourself using more? The Holger or the Bizon? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.